Hi book friends, it's Kat and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So for today's video, I have a stack of books right here that I got during spring break. My husband and I on our trip decided to visit different bookstores and have just to kind of go and see what's been on the clearance section, and we found some really good reads. So he's got his own little stack of books and then I have mine. So let's get started. So the first book I want to show is an Angela Hunt book, and it's called Delilah. And this is from her A Dangerous Beauty series. And so it says Delilah, Treacherous Beauty. And I actually had the first book in the series. It is Esther. And this series you don't have to read in order. There are different women in the Bible. So there's Esther, the first book within the series, and then you go to Bathsheba, and then we have Delilah, which is the third one in this Dangerous Beauty series. The covers are really beautiful. They have like a back part too, where it's always a silhouette as well. And so this one, it says, life is not easy in Philistia, especially not for a woman and child alone. When beautiful, wounded Delilah finds herself begging for food to survive, she resolves that she will find a way to defeat all the men who have taken advantage of her. She will overcome the roadblocks life has set before her, and she will find riches and victory for herself. When she meets a legendary man called Samson, she senses that in him lies the means for her victory. By winning, seducing, and betraying the hero of the Hebrews, she will attain a position of national prominence. After all, she is beautiful, she is charming, and she is smart. No man, not even a supernaturally gifted strong man, can best her in a war of wits. So, like I said, I do have the first one. I did enjoy Esther. There is historical content that Angela Hunt put within the book, and she leaves in the back with her author's note, like a lot of the text that she does pull from. So history lover here, so I see it, and there's some biblical accounts within Esther. She does follow close to scripture, and I haven't read Bathsheba's story, and I haven't read this one yet. So it's, it sounds interesting, especially when it's talking about a woman in the Bible that has been known for, not good reasons. And I'm curious to see where this is going. Again, I want to see if it's close to scripture. As far as we know, we don't know much about Delilah except the part where Delilah in scripture does seduce Samson and basically betrays him in the end, and then that's all we get. So I am curious to see Angela Hunt's way of writing about this woman. Okay, the next one that I got is The Holiday Swap, and it says book of the month on here, but I did get it for clearance. And so this is by Maggie Knox, and there were some hype to this book I've heard about, especially over the past holiday, the past Christmas holiday. And from what I know, it is a clean romance. And the book, it is about two twin sisters. One is involved in baking, and I don't really know what the other one's involved in, but they end up switching places because I think the baker was supposed to go on this reality TV show or some kind of show, and something happens, and so they switch places and they find love where they were. So it's a sister book. I do enjoy a good sister book, and it's supposed to be cute, cozy romance, and so maybe during the Christmas season I will pick this book up. And yeah, it says all they want for Christmas is a different life, so sounds interesting. And it's my first Maggie Knox book. Okay, the next book I did pick up is called Just 18 Summers, and it's a novel. And this is by Renee Gutteridge and Michelle Cox. And I know Renee Gutteridge wrote Boo, and I currently haven't read that one, and I've been meaning to read it. And so, but I saw this, and I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. It says, with just 18 summers, don't forget to make some memories. After the tragic death of Butch Browning's wife, Jenny, 4 families begin to realize how precious and fleeting their time together is. Each is at a different stage in life. Butch is facing single parenthood. The O'Reillys are expecting their first child. The Andersons are approaching an empty nest. And the Buckleys are so focused on providing their children with everything that they've forgotten what they truly need. With just 18 summers before their children are grown, how do they make the most of that time when life so often gets in the way? As summer flies by, each of these parents must learn about guilt and grace, and when to hold on to their kids and when to let go. So this sounds like a heart-touching book. Very much, I feel like I'll get into my emotions. I guess it also sounds very feel good. And so my husband and I currently don't have children. That is something that we do want and pray for, and we know we will have children. But you know, this one I feel like would still touch my heart regardless. And I like stories that have different people within the story, but how they all, hopefully they all come together at one point, and just different stages of life I think is also really good to read about, because you know, it gives you a sense of like, even if this person you may not connect with because of their stage in life, you could connect with another person, and how you know, God moves through that connection with different people and different stages. And I hope that's what this book will bring, just like how God will connect these different families together through these different stages and how they'll learn from each other. So sounds like a good book. So the next book that I had gotten is A Memory Between Us, and this is by Sarah Sundin. And this is book 2 in her Wings of Glory. I guess it's a duology, or maybe it's a series, because this is book 2. But I'm not sure. I don't really know anything about this book. Sarah Sundin is just an author. One of my authors. That was kind of hard to say. And so it seems sweet. It's, again, don't know much about it. I got to read the first book. So, but I found it. Okay. The next one is by Colleen Cossette, and this is called A Light on the Hill, and it's a Cities of Refuge. It's part of the Cities of Refuge series, and I saw this one on Stacy's channel with Wondering Stacy, I believe it's called, and I'll link her channel below. But I saw this on her channel, and it sounded really intriguing, and I found it at one of these stores. But here it says, though Israel has found relative peace, Moriah has yet to find her own. Attempting to avoid the scorn of her community, she's spent the last 7 years hiding behind the veil she wears. Underneath her covering, her face is branded with the mark of the Canaanite gods, a shameful reminder of her past captivity in Jericho, an assurance that no man will ever want to marry her. When her father finds a widower who needs a mother for his 2 sons, her hopes rise. But when their introduction goes horribly wrong, Moriah is forced to flee for her life. Seeking safety at once of the newly established Levitical cities of refuge, she is wildly unprepared for the dangers she will face and the enemies and unexpected allies she will encounter on her way. So it sounds really good. It's on a topic that I have no idea. It's on a topic that I'm not as familiar with, so I am intrigued with the story, and the cover is just gorgeous. Like the clouds on here, let me see that. So the clouds are just, they're gorgeous, and that blue is the striking like contrast, and so I really like that. And I've never read a book from this author, so this will be the first one, and I can't wait. Okay, so the last book, and this one I was hesitant first because this is an author where I feel that though I enjoyed some of the books that she's written, I'm still a little like intimidated with her books. And this one's a thick one, but it is called A Lineage of Grace, 5 Stories of Unlikely Women Who Changed Eternity, and it's by Francine Rivers. And like I said, it is a thick book. This goes through 5 different women that it says 5 women whom God chose. And so we have Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, and Mary. And so it also has a little sentence that says each woman's story includes a 6-part Bible study, perfect for personal study or group discussion. So getting this book, I didn't realize that it was like a study guide or discussion, and I actually was a little excited about it because I do enjoy a good study walkthrough. Granted, it is thick, so I know this is going to take me a while to go through, and it's not just one of those books that you can, easily go fly through, but it's giving me ideas to wanting to do in the summertime, like a Bible study with women over this. But it's just an idea that's forming right now. And so I know I mentioned it to my sister and she seemed interested. It is a little hard, I guess, for me to wanting to put a group together just because I know that not a lot of women have time to read, and I work as a school teacher, so the summers for me are really easy for me to, read whenever I would like to, and not everyone that I know around me has that day off. And so, and then plus, meeting together with a group of women, that is some level of vulnerability that, I guess there's always that initial like nervousness. So, but I feel like God is forming that idea, and this would be one of the books that, I guess this would be the one that I would choose for the summer. I'll just go ahead and say it. I would choose this. So that is something that I will take into prayer. Maybe do something around the church. That was my book haul. If you've read any of these books, let me know. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I am working on my TBR video, which I enjoy doing so much, and I am so happy to hear about Katie's Christian Spring into Christian-a-thon or a readathon, and I probably got the name wrong. Again, I will put that down in the description box, but the correct information. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.